thank you, to move forward, you have to feel safe and secure and supported. However that is for you and whatever is coming up for you. Okay, now they go to these questions. I want you to write these questions down. I've written them down, so let's see what they're talking about. Because they bring me now to, I have a board here, because they said that these will give you some clues of where you are on your journey with your soul, yourself, that needing to move forward. So this is one of the questions they have asked me to ask you, and they want you to write these down on a piece of paper, pen, pencil, whatever is suitable for you, if you have that to hand. If not, you can listen back to this recording later. So one of the questions they said, and this they're focusing on your base chakra. That's the foundation, that's the early parts of who you are. Of course, that affects who you are right now, what's going on for you now, but it's formulated. So if you had a early childhood that was unsettling for whatever reason, or didn't feel love, or there was some trauma, or there's some wounds there, this will affect you, but they want you to focus on the base. Okay, thank you, I'll go down because they just said this again, so I'll do it. So the question they want you to write down, so that you can have a look at this later in what will be revealed or what will be coming up for you individually, because they want you to focus on this, especially at this moment, because there's some challenging times in the sense of this changing times. Okay, thank you. So the question they put is, do you stand in your own way? Do you stand in your own way? And this seems to be really important. Do you stand in your own way? Do you stand in your own way? Okay. And put a question mark at the end and leave that, and there's some other questions too, but what they're saying is that for them, what they're trying to point out is that they're hearing many of you, and they know many of you are going to say yes, and you've got to write bits and pieces down, and they say bring it back to why it is. What is it that you stand in your way? Is it about getting a new job, or a partner, or a relationship, or moving, or making money, or feeling safe, feeling secure? They're saying this question is very important, that you look at this, because that will bring up for you what it is that you could be doing right now by standing in your own way, by not allowing things freely to come into you because there is some sort of trauma there, or there's a reason, I'm not good enough, or they must think I'm stupid, or whatever it is, whatever comes up for you, it's about writing that down underneath it, so you start to reveal what's going on for you. And my guides are sort of saying this is really important for you to do right now. Okay, thank you. And then the next question, the next statement, or whatever you want to call it, underneath or wherever you've got this sheet of paper, the next one is, are you afraid? What are you afraid of? 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 Okay. And again, they're saying by looking at that, by addressing that, what comes up for you, again, it might be, I'm fearful of applying for that job because I think I'm not going to be any good for that job, or I don't have the right qualifications, or they're going to think I'm not suitable, or whatever it is, or I'm afraid to move because I'm leaving an area I've lived in for so many years, and what if I don't like the people in the area? I'm afraid to leave my partner, again, for whatever reasons that might be. What is it you're afraid of? That seems to be very important. That's what they just wrote. Because this is what they're saying, you'll start to understand yourself better. Okay, thank you. And then they have another question. Okay, they want you to look at this one. And each of those questions will bring things up. It will activate something internally within you. And they said, can you be your own worst enemy? 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 And what they're saying to me right now is they know the answer. They know that many of you will write yes for this, because they're saying that they have faith. Your spiritual team, your guides, your loved ones on the other side, your cheerleaders, I call them, are there going, yes, you are your own worst enemy, because we know you can do it and you don't think you can. So that's what they're saying. Can you be your own worst enemy? Okay. I think these are more like statements instead of questions myself, but there we are. And they have another one. Okay, I love this. That says, does fear stop you from receiving? 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 Okay, and asking that, or telling you to write that down now, they've answered it. Okay, thank you. They've just said, one of my guides has said, yes, fear does stop them from receiving, and it also creates a boundary and a barrier with your spiritual team. Because many of you don't realise that your team are there. Many of you doubt that the universe has your back. Many of you don't quite understand how this works, which is fine. And this is why, by listening to this, it will begin to help you. But they're saying that fear has stopped many of you from moving forward. Some of you are fearful of getting burnt, in the sense of, by doing something and then if it doesn't go according to your human brain, that you think it's gone wrong. Whereas they're saying, if you just step back for a little while to witness, to allow yourself to surrender, and they just said to surrender to your dreams, then you will see how it naturally unfolds. But they're saying that many of you are quite fearful at this time because of change, and they're saying that humans do not like to change. They said they don't quite understand how some of you are in situations right now that are not fulfilling you, that are not enabling you, that are preventing you from growing and expanding yourself because you're too fearful. And they're saying they understand this to some degree, but with human years, sometimes where you will have the same issue or the same problem or the same thought process that you should have done something 5, 10, 15 years ago, or a couple of weeks ago, or whatever it is, that because of that thought that stays internally within you, it prevents you from moving forward. And as a human, sometimes it might feel like only yesterday, but sometimes it's 20 years ago. So you do not have any time to waste. That's what they're saying to me, especially right now. Okay. Now, the reason they just said that, it feels as if there's some change occurring, in the sense of you will be able to have or be able to, over the next period of time, I'm trying to get a time span on this, whereby, okay, thank you, by manifesting, by moving forward, you can do this, but you have to first sort of heal those wounds first before you can really manifest from your heart. So they're saying that there is time that is coming now of how you want to change your life, or how you want to move forward in your life, how you want to create changes, and that will happen. But first of all, you have to deal with some of the things that are holding you back, because some of them are anchoring you or keeping you still, that are not allowing you to sort of move forward. So they're saying that because there are some wounds that haven't been healed, or there's information that you're still telling yourself, you're keeping yourself small. Okay, they just said, but sometimes by what humans feel is a disaster isn't necessarily a disaster. It's something that's been cleared out of the path, being cleared away, so that it then helps you to reevaluate, look at things in a different way, so that you can then move forward. So understanding, when you look back on life, that you understand why you lost that job, you understand, you know, that relationship that has failed or lived it out its purpose, it served its purpose. You'll understand much more clearly as you move forward. But when you're in it, it can be quite difficult and exhausting. Okay. But they're saying this is all very much about the security, the support of the base chakra, the lower chakras here right now. But you can see from the questions they have given you that the answers are going to affect you many ways. So, you know, it's not just the security and that dealing with that lower chakra, it's to deal also with the heart and other areas of you. But they're saying by doing this simple exercise, it will start making you aware of your progress. It will start making you aware of what could be holding you back. And there was always a place to begin, and they feel this is a suitable place to begin, they just said. By working through your chakras, by working through the layers of yourself. Okay, thank you. They also said there'll be many also that will listen to this and say, oh, I've done the work on the chakras before, or I've done the work on myself before, and then just like put it to one side. But this is ongoing. They just said there is, like the seasons that we have on the planet Earth, it's very much like you as a soul have seasons to yourself, and there's many chapters in this where things need to be addressed. Okay. Oh, thank you. And they just said by focusing when we do meditation, and by placing your crystals when we will do the meditation, and focusing on the lower chakra more, it will help to ask the questions. So, okay, thank you. When you go to your questions and you write this later and you sit with it, really sort of almost having the intention, sort of focusing on that lower chakra, placing your hand on the lower region to some degree, or focusing your energy on that lower chakra, and have that crystal to hand too, that you really go in, ask yourself, draw it in, really focusing on the security and the support of yourself. What is it that you need right now, or what's happened with your foundation? You know, as I said, from 0 to 7 years, and then the other guy just came in and said even before then, what are you carrying in your lower base chakra from your family, your ancestors as well, they sort of said.